everyone, in this video I'm going to go over the LP Smartsiding that I picked up. If you check out my my other video, you'll see what I got going on. I picked up about 12 sheets and figured I'd prep them, get them ready for some paint them, and that's kind of where I'm at. Got them painted today. Painted them before I'm putting them up just because it's so much easier. Got a couple coats on today, and here you go. Check it out. So there we go. We got 12 sheets all laid out. I'm standing up here in the loft. There's one down there lower too. I ran out of sawhorses and tables. And then there's a couple pieces you'll notice, like that one right there. That's going to be the start of my sidewall. So I knew where the holes needed to be on that one. I went ahead and cut those out ahead of time before I painted them. And then I have one more sheet up here in the loft. You'll see right there. That's going to be for the center panel. All the way up there where you got 4 outlets. So I got that one already cut. So I figured I'd go ahead and paint that one, get that one ready to go. But yeah, that's 12, so that's not even half. Unless I take the camper out, I can't really get any more in, and I'm out of sawhorses. So that's what I got going on right now. Color-wise, you know, once I get these hung on the wall, you'll see a slight difference. So my panels on the wall are white. These look white from here, but it's actually a really light gray. That's kind of what I was going for. Just really super light gray. I didn't want anything dark. I want it to be as bright as possible in here. And I think it'll look pretty good. Once I get it hung, you know, get some toolboxes and everything out in front of them, I think they'll look really good and still brighten the area up a lot. It's a few days later, and all my panels I painted the other day, they're pretty much dry. They're ready to hang. So I'll show you. I got a few hung. Show you how I'm doing it. Probably not the recommended way, and I'll probably get a lot of comments that you shouldn't be hanging them this way. But it's my garage, and that's how I want to do it. And I'll show you what I mean. So we got this front panel hung. Did that one first. Got those switches, those covers all in there. And then still got to get plates and receptacle for that one, but that one's fastened. It's pretty much ready to go, or done, I should say. But I don't know if you can notice, and this is where I said I'll probably catch some heat. I'll show you on the other panel here, probably a little bit better so you can see what's going on. I think they're looking pretty good, but you know, I really had a debate whether to nail these. Boy, it would have been a lot of nails to nail by hand. I wouldn't have done that. I could have got a siding nailer, spent the money on that, and put siding nails through this. That's what they recommend, so that the heads are just flush with this. That's the manufacturer recommends that anyhow, on how to install it. And they have certain spacing, all these requirements. All those requirements are based on vertical studs though. Typically this stuff is used on like sheds or maybe outdoor buildings, stuff like that. But in my case, I have girts, you know, and they're running horizontal. So, you know, as far as manufacturer's recommendations, it's kind of all out the window anyhow because of how I'm installing it. I mean, they want all these edges overlapped a certain amount, which I get that, you know, but a lot of it has to do, I think, with weather too. because this is supposed to help make a weather tight seal when you install it per their recommendations. Again, it's inside of a garage. It'll likely never see water, maybe a little rinse off, but not much at all, if that. And probably not even much humidity, to be honest, because the garage is heated now. So, you know, I am trying to get this overlap pretty appropriate, you know, between the two. But one thing that I'm not doing, and I think it'll turn out pretty good, is I'm not using nails, I'm using screws. And I'm not screwing through this face here. I'm actually putting it right here. You can see one of them. I've already filled it in with some caulking, and I'll go back through and paint that. But I'm putting it in here. Now, this is not the thickest part of the wood. I get that. This is 5/8 material. I imagine this is 3/8 to close to a 1/2 inch, probably, thickness-wise in the center. All it's doing is holding it on the wall. If I ever fasten anything to the wall, I'm gonna be going through those girts behind it for any type of strength. And these things are, you know, incredibly strong panels. I mean, I'm very happy with how they're turning out, and I don't foresee any problems. I have enough screws here. You can't see a lot of them because I have them already filled in with some caulking, but I think I'm doing about 30 screws per panel. And not every joint, or every line, but quite a bit. And that might even be a little bit overkill, but it's not going anywhere is what I'm saying. So that's what I'm doing, how I'm fastening them. Again, I wouldn't take this recommendation if you're doing it yourself. I mean, do your own research, and I mean, I'm comfortable with fastening them up that way. I'm not going to be bothered by it, and they're not going to warp. I mean, they're on there really tight. I'm just going to continue on going down the line here, and this next one will be easy. I don't have it fastened yet, but the next one I got to cut out the outlet for. But yeah, I'm just going to work my way down with the panel. A few days later, I didn't get a chance to really film much of this process, but it's really just installing these panels. You know, like I said, they're already cut to length, so only thing I got to do is cut out for these boxes, and you can see how far I've gotten. So I did finish this entire wall here. I filled in all the holes with some white caulking. I still have to go back through and touch them up later, but that alone has pretty much hidden all the fasteners. I did end up having, let me see if I can find one here. I did end up having to face nail each one. There was just a little bit of a gap between the panels at the edge here. I did not like when they overlap, that shiplap part. So you can see I actually sunk those in a little bit further so I could fill those with some caulking too. So I did that along the whole edge. That's the only nails that I use that are kind of exposed. Everything else is screws, as I had mentioned, and it's solid. I'm not too worried about it going anywhere. I wanted to kind of show you these electrical boxes, and recessing these. Boy, they're a pain because you have to get these exactly right, and you know we know that there's no way that a whole barn is perfectly plumb when they put those beams up and install those posts. So, you know, you got a lot of different measurements at play here because your girts are gonna be, you know, jutted out just slightly. You know, and I've done pretty good at getting these on there. I did have to shim one. Like that one looks pretty good. I can get the cover plate on that one, no problem. This is probably the worst of them. I did have to shim that one, but I ended up having to move it back and then forward, and I just couldn't get it in the right spot. So I said, forget it. I'm just gonna put some shims, some electrical shims behind it, get the outlets out where they need to be, and you'll never know once the cover's on. So those look pretty good. Here's kind of the result, you know, once I get all those covers on. This is what I'm going for. So just plain white. I got my grommets in for future garage door opener here. So that all turned out really good. And I am now working over in this corner under the loft. And let me show you sort of what I got to do first. I don't know if I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, but you can see the box that I have there is a totally different kind of a cover, not recessed the way I am. I had a bunch of boxes that were given to me for free. That's what I end up going with. I just put those on there, figure I can move them all later if I need to. Well, I didn't take into account that the covers are completely different between the two types of boxes. So what I've been doing is going through each one of them again and putting these adapter plates. So there's a plate right here that adapts it, and it's kind of a mud ring is what they call that plate, that adapter plate. So I have to take the plugs back out, take the cover back off, and then put this plate on. And then this will allow me to put an actual recessed plate on top of this then. So that's what I've been doing. I've just been changing those out. It's kind of an easy fix. Haven't had too many problems going through those. Just taking a little bit of time, but that's what I'm working through. While I'm on the topic here, I'll show you these ones that I haven't done yet, and just hopefully this gives you some insight, you know, if you're doing some of the electrical yourself or, you know, hiring somebody to do it. Just some things to note. And this is one of them, you know. I don't know if I'd have the same problem with steel if I was doing steel on the bottom versus the wood. Probably, just because it's almost 3/4 inch with the ribs, and as far as depth anyhow. So here's my issue. And part of this issue is by doing the top section first instead of the bottom, but I have to get that wood up underneath this ledge here, underneath this lip here. And to do that, you have to move the board out ever so slightly, and then push it back. Well, this outlet here kind of complicates things because in between my steps and my girts, I only have maybe 2 inches at best, you know, between there. So you really can't move that board out far enough to get it over top of this outlet box and at the same time get it in that channel. So I have a different solution for this one. I'll show you what I got. I found these adjustable mud ring adapters. So as I had mentioned, I'm gonna put adapters on this anyhow, so that cover has to come off. And then I found this adjustable one, and you can see there's a screw on there, and that screw can adjust the depth in or out. And it looks like a couple inches, so quite a bit of adjustment there. And then, you know, you have your holes for your outlets, you know, top and bottom there. So my plans with this one, and I'll show you when I get to it how it works. I'm gonna take this cover off, take these outlets back out, and then I'll have to cut into this insulation and go back in behind here, move this box so that it is completely flush, maybe even a little bit further back past this gird is where I'm gonna go. And what that'll allow me to do is put this adapter plate in, and I can run this all the way in so that it's back behind, again, this gird. And then that'll allow me to put my wood panel just flat against the wall with this outlet not being in the way. And what I'll do is I'll bring the panel and slide it up in here and then just slide it down the wall until I get to the position that I need it to be. And once it's in position, this outlet, well, like I say, this outlet won't be in the road to get it in position, first of all. But second of all, once it's in position, then I can just thread the screw back out on this, which will bring this back out flush with where I need to be. So that's the plan. That's what I'm gonna go with and give it a try. I think it'll work out because I'm definitely not moving these steps. I could piece the wood if I really need to get around this problem, maybe top bottom, but I don't want a seam. I don't want anything like that. So this is my best solution. So stay tuned. I'll cover that once I get there. I don't know if it'll be in this video or the next one. But yeah, my plans are to keep working at this this back loft wall. And to do that, I got to pick up some more sheets. I'm down to only 2 sheets out of the initial 12 that I picked up. So I'm going to go pick up another dozen or so sheets. And I picked up about another, I think it's 11 sheets of LP Smartsiding. So another 11 sheets. I'll get ready to paint those here the next day or so. In the meantime, I actually I've been working on a little bit of the electrical that I needed to do, which I just mentioned. And I was able to get through, and I changed all these covers out already. So I got the adapter plate on there. I got the outlets all situated. So those are all good. And I'm just working on this one, we'll call it the problem outlet, to get these panels in there correctly. And I'll show you what I did. So this is that adapter plate that I just showed you, that's adjustable in and out. So I put this board here just as a reference. So if you look down the side of it, it's hard to tell from this angle, but there's just a little bit of the receptacle that's sticking out. So just the white part of it. And I think I have enough wiggle room that that's not going to impact me any. If not, I can always take those receptacles loose, tuck them in the box, or take them out entirely. But this allows me, now that I have this back far enough, and again, this is just a reference point. So this board is tied to the front of the girt here. So the back side of this is what I'm looking at as a reference point, because this is where the siding is going to go. So I need to be able to get it flush here and then slide it down this board. So I was able to just cut into the insulation a little bit, get my impact back in here, unscrew this box, and then I basically just push the box back just enough that I can get my siding to slide past it. So these little adapters are pretty neat. Let me show you. Now, once I get the siding back on here, I have to come back out 5/8 of an inch to be flush with the wall again, but super easy with this adapter. It's just these 2 screws there. There's one on the top, one on the bottom, and you kind of just move them out just a little bit at a time, each one. Let's see if I can get a, it's gonna be hard to see, but there you can see it moving. So that's all they do. You turn these screws just a wee little bit, and then it basically allows you to pull this outlet out wherever you need it to be depth-wise. So pretty neat. I'm glad that I found this. It makes this issue very easily remedied by just having that depth adapter there. So once I get my wall in place, my wall panel, I'll slide that back out, and then we'll get the correct depth and everything then, and we'll be able to put the faceplate back on. Already a few days later, been making some more progress. I did get some more panels painted. I got, let's see, 10 more painted. So I'll show you where I'm at with that. So I have everything done under the loft now. I still got one small little coat of paint to put on. Real light coat on this back wall, since I got all the fasteners and everything on. But not too bad. And then here's where I was with the electrical. And you can see this is that adjustable box that I had just showed in the video. And it worked out pretty slick. I don't know if you can see back in there or not, but that box goes way back in there, and I was able to slide that panel. If I can get it to focus here. I was able to slide that panel past the steps and in front of those outlets. And then once I got the hole cut out, I was able to take those 2 screws, the top and the bottom, and just screw those out to the depth that I needed. And that worked out pretty good. Now that I got this first panel in, that one was the hardest. I wasn't quite sure what I was gonna do there. So now that I got that first panel in, the rest is, I have one more panel that's gonna go behind the steps. That one will slide in real easy, no holes to cut out. And then let me take you around here. And then here's the other adjustable outlet right here. And again, I was able to slide that first panel past there, so this one won't be a problem either. And this one I just have to cut the hole out and measure it, get that set up right. And then I just have to finish on down the wall here. I have one more thing I wanted to show you guys before I wrap this video up. It's kind of pretty much just waiting for the paint to dry. I've been working on a couple other little things, just trying to wrap those up too. So here, take a look. The man door, I got that framed. Not framed, but I guess I got the jamb finished on it. So I don't know if you guys had seen it in one of my previous videos, but you know, all this is exposed underneath here with the regular framing. So I was able to pick up some wood, right size, right dimensions that I needed to fit in there, and cut them down. And I think that's gonna look pretty good. I'm gonna paint that trim all white. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video if you've gotten this far. I hope this stuff is interesting to you. It's taken a long time, as I've mentioned in the other videos, to progress, but I'm hoping it gives other people some ideas, you know, just different looks and different things that you can do in your garage. Everybody's gonna be a little different, but I did the same thing. I researched a lot before I chose colors and materials and everything else that I went with for the inside. But again, if you like this kind of stuff, go ahead and give it a like and make sure you're subscribed, and we'll start working on that last wall here in the next video. So make sure you have your notifications turned on. Take care, everyone.